Alright, today we're doing circles and segments. I promise to make this as short and sweet as I can, but there are just a few examples we have to get through. First thing first, I made this neat little chart here to help us out. The objective here is to each picture that you get to identify, is it chord, is it a secant, or is it a tangent and a secant? Look at your picture and does it resemble the chord, the secant, or the tangent and the secant? Once you do that, then you have just the little formula to set up here to put inside each one. I put this picture on each of the next pages. Here we go. Alright, first example. Chord, secant, tangent, secant. Of course, which one is it? If you just look at the picture, it resembles the secant, right? This secant line here and this secant line here kind of going through the circle, just like this guy here. So our setup is whole times outside part equals whole times outside part. And that's what these little outside lines are trying to help us to see. As you remember, I'm sure this X inside the circle here, this little part of this guy, is going to cause us a little problems when setting it up, so we'll work on that now. I'm going to do the 6 and the 4 first, and we're going to do that guy first. So the whole side over there is nothing but 10, right? Times the outside part of 6. When we do the whole thing over here, it's just 6 plus 4. That's where we get the 10 from, and then the outside part is 6. Easy enough. And that equals, well, we have to do 5 plus x, and that's the whole thing. And then the outside part is 5. And that's the hardest part to realize. If we're doing the whole thing up here, it's 5 plus the x gives us the whole thing of 5 plus x, and then the outside part is just 5. So I'm not going to repeat that every single time in the next couple of examples, but we do have to remember that when I write it down. Now the next thing is to remember to distribute this guy, right? Multiply there and multiply there. So let's see. 6 times 10 is 60 equals 25 plus 5x. Subtract your 25 from both sides. Cancels out over here. We get 35 equals 5x. Divide by 5 and we get x equals 7. Alright, next guy, looking at the pictures, this guy resembles chord. So we're simply doing part times part equals part times part. You notice my example over here, 5 times 4, and then 2 times the 10 over on that side. So let's just recreate that on this guy over here. Doesn't matter where you start. I'm going to start with the 4, I guess. So 4 times 10 equals 5 times x. Once again, doesn't matter as long as you stay all in the family. 5 and x go together, and the 4 and 10 go together. Don't start mixing and matching numbers on me or anything. So 4 times 10, 40 equals 5x. Divide by 5. I know I didn't write that on the last slide. We should know how to do that. X equals 8. Here we go on this guy. We have tangent, secant. Oop, drew all over that guy. No big deal. We'll make that go away. Here we go. Tangent, secant. Here you can see the little tangent line there, the tangent 6 over there. So let's write that down. If I follow the formula, it says tangent squared, so that would be my 6 in this case, and then the whole in the outside part like the other examples. So 6 squared equals the whole thing, which is 4 plus x. Please remember that from the other slide we have to add the x because it's part of it, and then the outside part is nothing but a 4. So 4 distributed to the 4 and to the x, that means multiplied. So what do I have here? 36 on this side. I have 16 plus 4x. Subtract my 16. I get 20 equals, this cancels, 4x. Divide by 4 on both sides, and x equals 5. Alright, on this guy here, you'll notice, last example for me, we have x over here as the whole thing. That's a little different than our other couple examples where x was like part of the inside. X is going to be the whole thing. Still, identify the picture. Is it a chord, a secant, or a tangent secant? I hope you're screaming and yelling secant on me. There we go. We have whole times outside part. Let's see how that works out. I'll start with the guy on top. The whole thing is 11 times the outside part, which is 3, equals, then the whole thing on the bottom is x times the outside part, which is 6. Let's just work that through. 33 equals 6x. Divide by 6. Divide by 6. I know, again, I didn't do that in the last one, but again, you should be able to do it. So x equals 5.5. Alright, a couple of you tries. For you, pause it if you will, because I'm just going to write the answers down. I'm not going to work these out. You should be able to work them out from the other examples or working and practicing. But here we go, a couple hints for me. This is only part of it, so you may have to do 9 plus x if you got this guy wrong. Same thing over here, this is only part of it, so you may have to do 9 plus x in your equation if you got it wrong. Here we go, let's see if you got it. Hopefully you got it right, I know you did. X equals 11 on this guy. Over here we have x equals 12. And last but not least, way over here, x is going to equal 7. Hope you got them and nailed them. See you tomorrow.